Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So, see this little guy, right? This guy right here with the hat. Yeah, this is why we're paused. Yeah, it's all his fault. So, yeah. If you wanted not to be paused, blame that guy. So, basically, this is a community cast sent in by Sarmatian, and he's up against Chaos, and he's got a really cool army here. I really like this this build, and I really like this replay. It's really cool. So here you can see he's got 4 units of Outriders. Obviously, you know, really good armor piercing. They're nice and quick. They can outrun all the heavy cav. Can't outrun hounds though, but they can outrun all the cavalry, and they're just really good. They've just got so much punch with that missile damage, all the armor piercing. I mean, you need armor piercing against Chaos. Just all of their best units are covered in the stuff. So Outriders are super useful, and the fact they're so maneuverable is just so nice. It means you can't just get completely sort of swarmed and have all your handgunners get killed, right? These guys can just step away, and that is hugely beneficial, you know, and you can't chase all of them at once necessarily, so it makes it very difficult. Also, he's got some Knights of the Blazing Sun. These guys are very quick, which is really nice, so they can be where they need to be. They can provide backup where they want to, and they got some good armor themselves, so they're pretty damn good. I really like these guys. Great charge bonus, pretty good weapon strength, not a huge amount of armor piercing, but doesn't matter too much when you got Gelt. So Gelt, he's going to be sundering people's armor with his spells, and is going to let these guys get a lot of work, so it's going to be pretty cool. So I like Gelt here. Final Transmutation, very good against very expensive units, and single models especially. So very handy against Chaos that tend to rely on a lot of, you know, big monsters to do a lot of the work. And yeah, even against infantry, it'll do a lot of damage to elite infantry. It does about the same amount of damage to, you know, no matter what you land that on. So, you know, if it's a unit of Chosen or if it's a unit of Chaos Marauders, it's going to do the same amount of damage. So, you know, when you've got really elite stuff in an army, you want Final Transmutation to be able to really smite that stuff. It's going to be great. So, also here you can see a Witch Hunter. Witch Hunter, really good, you know, single, sort of single shot damage, huge amount of missile damage there. And Accusation is also really useful for single model targets, so really handy again for dealing with that kind of thing. He's also got a couple of Empire Knights, just some extra mass to help his front line out. And his front line is actually surprisingly elite. He's got halberds on the sides, he's got great swords in the middle, and he's just got some cheap spearmen slightly further out, just delay things a bit. And he does have some more handgunners as well, so more DPS with the handgunners, I think, than the Outriders, I believe. All the Outriders do, yeah, their single shots are much more powerful, but then they have fewer models. Yeah, maybe the Outriders do have better DPS. Is that something I've just not really noticed before? Because, yeah, just have a load of Outriders in the back. That sounds like a great idea. Anyway, so he's got some extra handgunners as well. But, of course, the handgunners can get swarmed, you know. If he relied on a lot of them, they can just get overwhelmed by things like Forsaken that can really chew through any defensive infantry like the Spearmen, you know. So it's pretty easy to get on top of handgunners a lot of the time. So, yeah, having that maneuverability, fantastic. So, really cool Empire build here. And his opponent, very stocky opponent here. So he's got Forsaken on the flanks, great for getting around an army and getting into all the juicy bits in the back. And a load of Chaos Warriors with great weapons. These guys, very cost effective. They'll do really well against things like great swords with that armor piercing. They got a ton of armor themselves. You know, fairly good combat stats. They're pretty damn good. I like Chaos Warriors, and with great weapons can be very handy for chewing through, you know, cavalry and things. I like it. So also over here you can see Chaos Warhounds with poison, very handy. These guys will be able to actually chase down things like Outriders, so very handy indeed. He's also got some Chaos Knights with lances. Chaos Knights with lances, very formidable, really good combat stats, a ton of armor. I mean, that is a huge amount of armor. Knights of the Blazing Sun don't stand a chance without that armor being, you know, sundered. So yeah, very cool, like the Chaos Knights. And over here you can see Chaos Sorcerer of Death. So he's got Fate of Buna, he's got Doom and Darkness. So both very good spells. If you can charge in with 2 Shaggoths, that's right, Kolek and a Shaggoth, you're going to get a lot of terror. And if you can just dumpster people's leadership, you can make a whole line just rout very quickly. So very handy indeed. So I like that. And Fate of Buna, good for troublesome units, like Outriders actually. You hit them with the Fate of Buna, and they're going to lose so many of their models. They're just, yeah, they're going to end up getting routed pretty damn quickly. So it's pretty useful, though it is quite expensive, you know, to deal with the Outriders like that, because there are 4 of them, so you're not going to be able to get rid of all of them that way. You're just not going to have the Winds of Magic, but still, very useful spell for that. So we are going to speed things up finally. So let's get into this. So straight away, Outriders, they're going to be opening fire on a load of these nice juicy targets. Everything here is a great target for an Outrider, honestly. So it's going to be running forward a little bit much though. But there you go, getting some damage into the great weapons, that's lovely. Getting some damage onto the Shaggoth nice and early, and that is actually a substantial amount of damage just from a volley of these guys. That's pretty damn good. So they're going to have to back away. Here, the hounds will eventually catch this guy, but there are the Knights of the Blazing Sun poised to defend. But it is a bit worrying because if you go over here to deal with the Chaos Warhounds, then the Chaos Knights can catch up to you and countercharge you. So it's tough. It's tough choosing what to go for here. So here you can see Plague of Rust. And this is going to work out nicely. So, nice charge there. So, the Knights of the Blazing Sun got the charge on a unit that only has 60 armor now, which is pretty damn good. So, they are winning this engagement at the moment, which is pretty incredible. I mean, Chaos Knights are worth a lot more, so it's pretty great. So, here you can see the Outriders are going to turn around and start firing into the Chaos Knights as well, so there'll be extra damage there. Here, though, the Outriders are struggling to keep away from these Chaos Warhounds. That is not good. So now, all of the very, very scary units are coming in. You can see all the Dragon Ogres charging in here. Kolek, oof, very scary. Oh, believe these guys got hit by a Lord of the Storm. That's going to be pretty painful. But they seem to shrug off most of the damage. That's good news. So here, these Outriders are going to get hit by Fate of Buna. That is going to help shut these guys down. Of course, the Chaos Warriors are a lot slower. It's going to take them longer to get into this fight. But the Chaos player has no choice but to rush in here, because he can't let the Outriders just whittle away half his army while he's approaching. He's got to get in there nice and quickly. So Kolek has had an accusation placed on him. The handgunners are firing into him. So he's going to be suffering a lot. He's going to be taking a lot of damage from this. So here the Chaos Knights have been finished off. That's fantastic. They haven't shattered, and there's still a few of them. But still, they're running away. Over here, the Empire Knights managed to get on top of these Chaos Warhounds, and now the Outriders are free. They lost a few models, but it's not too bad. Here, Forsaken taking a lot of damage from the Outrider fire. Here, a final transmutation, upgraded, has landed on top of these two. See, it's done a ton of damage to the Chaos Sorcerer. They're pretty flimsy, the Chaos Sorcerers, so that's pretty great. Kolek is just getting absolutely beaten. He is getting torn to shreds. Unfortunately, though, these Outriders have got Fate of Buna. They've lost a few models, but they have broken. If there was anything to capitalise, chase them off, that'd be great. But unfortunately, the Hounds have been dealt with, and you only have the one unit. So that's pretty rough. These guys will come back, and although they have very little health, they still have 35 models. So that's a bit of a pity. So over here, Kolek is still really suffering, and this Shaggoth is now taking the brunt of all the Outrider fire, while while the Halberdiers try and hold this stuff off. Here, though, you can see the handgunners are being torn to shreds by the Forsaken. He really needs to get these Empire Knights in, which he does. Beautiful. So these guys are going to get chased off, which is brilliant, but unfortunately the handgunners do get terrified. But it's better they get terrified and start running away than staying in a fight with Kolek. That's not ideal. And of course, back here, these Outriders will soon get involved. Here, another Lord of the Storm is going to come down here, do a ton of damage to the Grey Swords. Yep, really nice chunk of damage there. Really going to help these Chaos Warriors out. So that is pretty scary. So here the Chaos Knights did actually manage to get the jump on these guys, which is not ideal. But the Knights of the Blazing Sun, nope, Empire Knights. They're here to lend a hand, so they're going to charge in, pin these Chaos Knights in place. The Outriders, they're still going to be firing into the mix. And you can see here, Kolek has actually been broken. He's been trying to deal with the handgunners, but there's just so much other stuff that's out for him, So here, another accusation on the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth that has also taken a ton of damage, which is absolutely wonderful. So the Witch Hunter going to struggle to sit in a fight here, but frankly, everything else will be able to get so much damage onto this Shaggoth that it doesn't matter if, the Witch Hunter almost dies, or even does die, honestly. He's done his bit. He's managed to get the accusations on the single models, and yeah, he's managed to get a load of shots off. He's done his part already. So yeah, if the Shaggoth was to keep fighting him, the Outriders could just finish him off, so it's pretty great. So over here, you can see the Chaos Knights did actually get shattered, which is rather nice. Empire Knights still very healthy. And you can see the other Knights of the Blazing Sun unfortunately did get caught out and butchered, which is a bit of a pity. But, they definitely helped. They took out a unit of Chaos Knights. It's pretty fantastic. So over here, Balthazar Gelt is on the hunt. He's actually used Plague of Rust on this guy, putting down to 30 armor, which is definitely, in Balthazar Gelt's sort of range there. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of armor piercing, doesn't have a huge amount of weapon strength, but, yeah, fighting a wizard with only 30 armor, he can do that. Unfortunately, it's just too late. It's too late for Chaos here. He's just been picked apart. All of his most expensive things were just taken out systematically. Very impressive. Absolutely loved seeing this. Really deadly. Really deadly. Look at that, 20 kills for the Witch Hunter. Apparently he was shooting at some other things too. Yeah, really formidable. Really formidable build, this. It is very difficult to deal with, because you see this a lot in sort of tournament play, where you've got sort of a build which forces people to make a decision. If you're forcing people to make a decision, and there's no right answer, you're going to be in a great, in a great place. Because frankly, yeah, he could have held back. He could have just tried to get, his Warhounds, his Shaggoths, try and corral the Outriders, deal with these guys early, use the Fate of Bunas and chase them off, and just try and ignore the rest of the army for as long as possible. right? So that way he could bring his army in and hopefully be safe. Or he could have charged everything straight into the army, ignore the Outriders completely, and just hope that their damage doesn't stack too much before you can wipe out everything else. It's tough. I mean, there's no right answer. Either way, you're going to be taking a ton of damage from the Outriders, and there's no reason why, if all the Outriders are under a load of pressure, that the great swords and the spearmen and the halberdiers and the handgunners are going to sit still. They're going to advance, you know. It's tough. You've got to choose between a rock and a hard place, and that is a great way to deal with a lot of armies, especially when it's small and elite. You know, offer them a load of choices, stuff to attack, but none of them is going to pay off, and I think that's a lot of fun. So very cool indeed. That was pretty systematic. I mean, look at this. Gelt, totally healthy. You know, Witch Hunter is a bit scratched, but he's alright. You know, he'll live another day. Yeah, one of the units of Halberdiers got pretty wrecked. The Knights of the Blazing Sun, but I mean, look at this. Everything else is still pretty good shape, you know. It's scary. Definitely scary. The Outriders still had a fair bit of ammunition, too. So it's rough. It's definitely rough. I'd say with Chaos, double Shaggoths, very popular, but I think people kind of expect that. They bring a lot of tools to deal with single model targets, especially the Empire. They have a lot of good tools for that. You know, whether it be artillery or whatever. They've got the tools for that. So I think you need to go a bit wider a lot of the time now. I think they're going to have enough stuff to pin you down and, you know, start piling in damage with their ranged. So just try and overwhelm them a bit more. I think, you know, drop a Shag. I think Dragon Ogres are a nice alternative, just because they have so many more models. They can actually kill things quicker a lot of the time. They can match up a lot better against cavalry a lot of the time too. And it saves you a little bit of money just to get some marauders and things, you know? If you had a load of marauders, send one marauder off each after each outrider, and it's going to keep them busy. You know, it helps a lot. Or just a load more hounds. Anything that can apply pressure. I mean, hounds are always useful. You're either going to see a load of outriders or you're going to see a load of artillery. So, you know, not Hellstorm rocket batteries, the other ones, the Hellblaster volley guns, that's the one. Or just great cannons, you know, stuff like that. You want to kill those artillery crews, and hounds can do that brilliantly. Or handgunners. Hounds can kill them brilliantly. Just hounds are really useful. And I think with the Empire, they're going to go wide and have a lot of DPS in their ranged units. So you want to basically walk over their front line, or just go around it, you know, just outnumber it so it can't pin you in place. To let the damage come in. So I think that's kind of the way to do it. You can't really go small and elite in quite the same way as you could in the previous patch. Because obviously guns were rubbish. They were just terrible. You know, you tell your handgunners to fire and they'd run up to the enemy. That's all fixed now. So suddenly the Empire are way more viable and way more dangerous. So I think you really need to take that into account when building a Chaos army. It's a lot tougher now. It is a lot tougher just because of the, you know, pure armor-piercing DPS that the Empire can bring nowadays. So yeah, bear that in mind for sure. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It's been a good one. So thanks for sending in the replay, Sarmatian. And I might be showing another one of his soon, actually. He sent me a couple. They're both very cool. Anyway, so if you guys enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.